Welcome to the latest Wax Ecstatic Pack Break. I'm your host, Matt Sammon, and look at these. Ooh, they're so fancy. You know, when these came in the mail a few days ago, my wife looked at them and thought there was chocolate in these. And I said, no, but the chocolate may actually be more valuable than the cards. We're going to flash some Flair. A couple of listeners made this request, 1993 Flair limited baseball cards. I've got 3 packs here. And on this upcoming week's edition of the Wax Ecstatic podcast, I'll be dropping out this Friday. Yes, this Friday. That would be April the 23rd at 12 noon Eastern. You will get a nice little conversation from me about 93 Flair, what made Flair so special compared to other premium cards, and also what really showed a difference in what was considered a good baseball card in 1993. And you could just look at the packaging. We'll get to the actual cards in a moment. But just the packaging alone, I mean, this is almost like a pack of extremely fine cigarettes, you know? This doesn't seem like baseball cards. So we'll talk a little bit about the 93 Flair set and how it took the already divisive and splintered world of premium cards and, well, divided and splintered it even more. So let's go ahead and open these bad boys up. You know you've got original packaging when the box is still in this plastic outer wrap. And when you look at the outside of the box here, let's read the back here. Look for 20 different Wave of the Future limited edition subset cards, some of the brightest stars of tomorrow. Our odds of finding a limited edition subset card are 1 in 4 packs. So really, how limited edition is that? 1 in 4? I don't think that's too limited. So you slide the Flair top off, and we've got more packaging here, plus a very nice picture here of John Oldroyd. So you open the pack to open a pack. This is like the opening sequence to the TV show Get Smart. Look it up on YouTube, kids. So we have the John Oldroyd Flair card. Now I'm just going to pull this aside here. Let's take a look at the Flair card. First, you have absolutely no borders. You've got 100% photo. And in that strange 1970s Olin Mills school photograph design, you've got the silhouette, the ghostly image of John Oldroyd looking down at John Oldroyd, as if John Oldroyd was telling present-day John Oldroyd, "Don't be like me. You will be visited by 3 ghosts this Christmas." So, yeah, there's kind of a weird, there's definitely a weird elementary school picture to this. But regardless, you've got this extremely glossy coating here. Let me get that in the light again. Look at that. And this is better than most cards have in terms of glossy coating. Look at how thick this cardstock is, all right? I mean, this is almost like 2 or 3 cards thick. On top of the ghostly pictures here, we've got the Flair logo up on the left. We have this player name down here. It's almost an autograph script. Flip the card around. We've got an action shot. John Oldroyd wearing his helmet, of course, out on first base. Slight narrative, career numbers here, team logo up here. And in gold foil, that was the big thing in 1993, of course, you have the first letter of the narrative, long, in cursive, as well as the card number, in this case, card number 293. So let's take a look at some of these individual cards here. So we have John Oldroyd, David Hulse, who was one of many in the line of prospects for the Texas Rangers who didn't quite pan out real well then. We have Randy Johnson here, and I love this picture because the ghostly image of Randy Johnson almost seems like a second head. It's like erupting from his stomach. We have here, backside first, Chris Bosio, also of the Seattle Mariners. Look at this card. That is a great action shot of Billy Hatcher with the Red Sox. We've got Greg Olson. We've talked about him in past episodes. Donnie Baseball, Don Mattingly here. This is almost like a stop action here from this picture to that picture. We've got, oh, look at that, Chuck McElroy. We've talked about him on the program, too. Speaking of Flair, Chuck McElroy. We've got a truly haunting image here of David Justice. This actually looks like those cardboard cutout heads that you're seeing at a lot of sporting events these days. Except whoever got this cardboard cutout clearly got their money's worth because it is roughly 46 feet high and 32 feet across. And then we've got Jim Eisenreich. We may actually talk about Jim Eisenreich in this upcoming podcast because this is one of those unheralded players from back in the day, and certainly during the Phillies World Series run in 1993. Now, quickly, let's look at the backs of these cards, just to show you some of the action shots. Again, here's Eisenreich here. All right. David Justice. McElroy, full specs in motion there. Donnie Baseball, thinking if he should trim his sideburns like Homer at the bat. Greg Olson looks like he's ready to field there. We got Billy Hatcher rounding the bases. Chris Bosio in the delivery. Randy Johnson looking fierce in his delivery. David Holtz watching a pop-up. And then, as we mentioned, John Olerud. All right, so you do have a Hall of Famer, Randy Johnson. You got John Olerud. Let's see what else we get in these other two packs. By the way, I do have a couple of extra packs from the lot that I bought. We may put those up for auction via our Twitter timeline at Waxy Gumstains. And all proceeds from that auction will go to the program to help purchase more cards of this fine program. All right, so let's slide the plate off. Boop. Okay, let's activate this door. This is just kind of stupid. No wonder why people didn't like this set. Yeah, it's a gorgeous set, but Fort Knox has more lax security than this. All right. We have Mr. Red Ass, Kevin Brown, for the Red Ass story. Just go back to our archives and listen to my 1989 Donruss program. With Flair, Rich Amaral of the Mariners, another one of those prospects, very similar to David Hulse, who had an okay career, but nothing too great to write home about. Mike Bordick, depending on how you said his name, you could laugh. All right, the Wave of the Future, Rondell White. Not quite Vlad Guerrero, but Rondell White was about to get caught up in the undertow of the Wave of the Future. Now, one thing I like about this Wave of the Future card here, look at that logo. That is a very Epcot-esque logo here. Back when Epcot was about science and education and a little bit of fun, the whole park, even though every little ride had a different name, it had a different logo. That's what Wave of the Future looks like here. And it also looks like it's scratching Mr. White's crotch there. So I hope his itch has been taken care of. All right, we've got Carlos Martinez here from Cleveland. Chad Kruder. That was a fun name, too. Could you be cuter than Chad Kruder? All right, we've got here Roberto Hernandez, the first of many dubious closers for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. The late Ken Caminiti, I will say this, as freakish as his ghostly visage over his shoulder is, the rainbow stripes of the old Astros uniform really popped there. Brand new to the National League, Major League Baseball 1993, the Florida Marlins with Jeff Conine. And you saw a Colorado Rocky card in there too, and there he is, Alex Cole. So this would have been a pretty big deal in 1993. You would have gotten your first looks at the Rockies and the Marlins. Again, pre-internet world, AOL was just rolling out at that time, so this was the prime way that you got to see the new players, the new teams, and more importantly, the new uniforms. And I finally come around to the Marlins uniforms. Look at the backs real quick here. Here's your Rockies, your Marlins, Caminiti again, Roberto looking mean, Chad Kruder. Nice little at-bat pose there by Mr. Martinez. Here's your Wave of the Future, the crotch scratcher off to the side here. By the way, Rondell White with the Spring Training 66. Love it. Mike Bordick in action. Rich Amaral getting the base coach and his attention. Then, of course, Kevin Brown. All right, last but not least, let's open up pack number 3. This should only take about 5 minutes. Not to look through the cards, just to get through the multi-layer security here. This is like a harbinger of things to come with the TSA. All right. Let me say the secret word here. Swordfish. Good. All right, we've got it open. And all of that work has led to Eric Pappas. Well, thank God for that. John Oldred again. David Hulse again. So we're starting to get some sequencing issues here. The ghost of Ken Caminiti is back. We skipped to Jeff Russell, and I've mentioned this before, but this bears repeating. Every time Jeff Russell was in the windup, it looked like he was about to kill somebody. I don't know if I'm the only person who noticed that. Harold Reynolds with the Orioles. A lot of people remember Harold, of course, his days in Seattle. Scott Livingstone, I presume. We've got Crucky, John Kruk, who would also be a notable name in the Phillies' 1993 World Series run. This ghostly visage here of John Kruk looks like he is eyeing the hot dog vendor, if not the basket of hot dogs. Jose Vizcaino, another great name in Cubs history, and El Presidente, Danny Martinez with the Montreal Expos. So let's look at the backs of these real quick here. So we've got El Presidente, Jose Vizcaino, John Kruk, somewhat copping a squat there at first base. Scott Livingstone. We've got Harold Reynolds. Look at the major all-star patch there for Baltimore in 1993. Jeff Russell again looking maniacal. Caminiti again, Hulse again, Oldred again, and again Eric Pappas. Didn't miss a beat filling in for Tom Pagnozzi. Well, good for him. We'll give him a gold star. And not only do we give him a gold star, but we also give him lots of gold. Gold galore in 1993 with the gold foil wrapping, not to mention the foil in pretty much every element of the Flair cards from back in the day. So we hope that you enjoyed this presentation as we took a peek at the Flair cards of 1993. And we're going to talk, again, more about these particular cards here. They're beautiful. Again, the sequencing issue comes about here. So you may be looking at these, if you open up, say, 10 packs, you may be looking at getting quite a few recurrents, if you will. You could have gotten a ton of dupes, but you also would have received a pretty complete set with only 300 cards. So if you bought an entire box, you could have gotten that. Well, we'll talk more about the particular set and the premium sets that were coming out in the mid-90s, which again helped splinter the hobby quite a bit. And we will discuss that on our next podcast. Again, that is this Friday. That is Friday, April the 23rd. Make sure you look for it on our home base at Audio Boom and also through all of our RSS feeds via Apple Podcast plus iTunes, or that is Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, also TuneIn, Stitcher, Blueberry, Google Play, and Spotify, wherever you get your podcast entertainment. I'm your host, Matt Sammon. Thanks again for watching another Wax Ecstatic Pack Break.